Hello there, runNeers. It's Manny one more time. Yes, I know 3 videos this week. This is the 3rd one, but it has to do with the Dumbo Double Dare. It's the Disneyland run. The event guide dropped. I've been looking at it. There's a lot of different things that they do over there at Disneyland and that they don't do at Disney World. It's gonna be just some changes. Most of it's minor. Obviously, you know that it's gonna be a totally different ballgame when it comes to transportation and stuff. But you know what? We're gonna get to it, but before we do, we're almost at 1,000, guys. Please keep subscribing. We're almost there. We're gonna get there. And before we do, also, this was my inaugural Dumbo Double Dare. This was in I believe it's 2013. And I also found this little beauty, which I have upside down now. It is the very first Dopey Challenge. I'm gonna be taking these shirts also. This was in 2014, so I did both of them just a few months apart. It was awesome. It was kind of backwards because I did Dumbo first and then a few months later I did Dopey. But didn't even realize that I had done basically, it wasn't within the same calendar year, but the inaugural ones, I did them both within about 4.5 months. So guys, now let's get to the digital event guide and let's go over it. Then afterward, I'm gonna give you some of the highlights, some of the things that I think are really worth, that stand out. But without further ado, let's get to it. First page is just basically a welcome page like it is on any other guide. Now when we click on the weekend events, we can start seeing all the information. So start off with important information. It's going to have everything including the waivers and check-in. Guys, this is going to be basically the same as any one you've ever done. The difference is going to be the date that you check in and the day that you get your check-in pass, I should say. And this one is dropping January 9th. So guys, just be prepared, be looking for it. Make sure that if you haven't signed your waiver yet, that you sign it as soon as possible. It's very easy. The instructions are right here, how to get through your account and get that signed. Reminders are next, guys. And so, guys, there's gonna be some reminders. They're basically gonna be the same, but just scroll through them. Just remember, and it basically tells you, just refer to like the transportation information for each race so that you know where the transportation is. Safety reminders. You guys are going to have your checks, your bags checked, your costumes checked, so forth and so on. If you scroll down, it's just a bunch of regular reminders. I'll let you guys go through this here. And the other one is a race bib and start groups assignment. So you're going to get that once you pick up your bib at the expo. One last thing to point out is participants must enter through the staging area determined for each race in order to get inside to your start area. So remember to do this, guys, or else you can be disqualified. And lastly, remember that you must keep up a 16-minute per mile pace in order not to get swept. But we go to race day information. There's a gear bag check. It's the same thing as it is in Disney World. Make sure that you keep that bag, that clear bag that they give you, because that's the only one that you can use. So that's the one they give you when you pick up your shirts. So guys, make sure that you have that because that's what you're going to put your stuff in. Do not put anything valuable in there because they are not responsible in case something gets lost and or stolen. So just make sure that you do that. Guys, costume guidelines, we've gone over these and I've done videos on these. But guys, just make sure that nothing is sticking out, nothing looks like a weapon. And just go over it. They got a video later on somewhere down in this area that you can watch. It's actually a pretty good little video and it explains to you. But guys, anything that drags on the ground cannot be used. Just think to yourself, anything that contours to your body is fine, guys. Anything, so even like a tutu, as long as it doesn't stick out or doesn't have any kind of wiring or anything, you can use. But guys, again, I encourage you, if you're going to be wearing costumes, to go over this. Don't ask social media because we don't work for Disney. And somebody on social media might tell you, yeah, go ahead and wear whatever you want to. And then you get there and they say, nah, you're going to have to take that off. So guys, just make sure that you comply by the rules, and make sure that also if you're wearing a costume, remember, if you're going to go into the parks afterward, you cannot be wearing your costume if you're an adult into the park. So just make sure that you abide by these rules. The flag guidelines are going to be the same as it is at Disney World, 3x5s. Nothing metal. You can use wood or something, a PVC pipe. you can use something like that, but nothing metal, nothing bigger than 3x5. Race etiquette is going to be self-explanatory. Again, I'm going to do a video, a complete video on race etiquette myself, because to me, Disney just doesn't go far enough. They do talk about it, and that's one of the things they point out. They said, listen to instructions, because they will give you instructions, guys. But guys, remember, just don't clog up the course. It's the best way of saying it. Walkers to the right. If you're going to pass up, go to the left. Hogue, I believe this is the way it's pronounced. It's going to be the medical people there, so there's going to be medical tents, as there usually is. There is also going to be people on bikes, so in case you get in trouble, just wave one of them down and you're going to be fine. I love this one, the weather warning system. So you go from green, good conditions, yellow, less than ideal conditions. Once we start getting to red, there's a chance we either going to cut the course, or black, we're probably going to cancel a run. So those are them. We go to the photo pass. This one is really, really important, especially if you have photo pass or you want your photos. Guys, remember, here you can purchase, this answers the question. You can purchase Genie Plus for the day if you go to the parks, and it counts as your photo pass. It might count the whole time. So guys, just ask when you get there. But Genie Plus will count, so you don't have to buy it. And here are the numbers, or the digits that you're going to need in order to get download your photos after each run, guys. So guys, it goes from everywhere from the kids run, the 5K, the 10K, and the half. That's great to know, guys. So if you click on the post race, it'll give you the information. Obviously, you're going to get your results. Sometimes it's not immediate, but check throughout the day, and it's on the results tab, and it's going to give you the results of your run for the Disneyland run. So now that we get out of here, we're going to go back up and go for the weekend events again, or the weekend information, and we're going to click on the Health and Expo. And guys, remember that we are going to use a virtual queue. So guys, the biggest difference here is, if you look at it, is now it's a 7 a.m. So at 7 a.m. is when they're going to start getting the virtual queue. Again, I'll do a short video kind of showing you how to get your virtual queue, guys. But I'm going to say this, guys, if you've gone to Disney World or Disneyland and had to use a virtual queue for like Tron, Rise of the Resistance, and Disneyland, the Spider-Man ride when it first came out, and you had to get the virtual queue, it's the same concept. You got to download the app. You're going to have the Disneyland app. You're going to be able to choose up to 6 people, people that you can take with you. Each one is going to have their own QR code. So when you go back, when you get called back, whether you're group 1 or 100, you're going to have to show this, okay? So make sure that you get those QR codes ready when you get called back. So we click on event waivers, but again, we've already gone over this, so we're just going to click right off. Go to the race, bib, and shirt pickup. Guys, again, we're going to reiterate that you're going to need your check-in pass along with an ID with your picture on it. It's going to be a government-issued ID. And again, I'm going to just reiterate this over and over and over. You'll probably hear me say this over and over. Guys, you cannot pick up for any other adults. You can pick up for children as long as they're under 18, and if you're a parent or a guardian. Now, food and beverage, this is a cool part because downtown Disney is right there. So not only will you have carts, you're going to have the hotel there, but you're also going to have options that you can go and eat at. So there's going to be, for example, the Earl of Sandwich is going to be open on the 13th and 14th. It's a place that I love, and I sometimes go there after a run, and or I have in the past, I should say. Splitsville's having a little get together after the 5K. So if you guys want to go there, you can pre-purchase your tickets, and you can go in there. It looks like it's like an all-you-can-eat buffet, so that's actually pretty cool. Now we get to the Expo transportation. This is where it's going to get a little bit different because for the Expo, the parking is going to be at the Pixar Pals parking structure. And you got to show your check-in pass to get the discounted rate of $10. Otherwise, the daily parking rates will apply, which, if I am reading this correctly, it will be about $35, guys. So make sure that you have your check-in pass so you can get there. It gives you instructions on how to get to the Expo from there. So once you park, you can go over to the Expo. Now, guys, there's other ways of getting it to the Expo. If you walk, you can walk towards the Disneyland Hotel if you're close enough. You can take the ART, which we'll go over in a little bit. That's the bus transportation. They'll drop you off right in front of the parks or right by the parks. And you're just going to have to walk through downtown Disney. There is a charge for that, but if you download the app, which I already have, you can buy multiple days. And I know that the one I saw was 5 days for $25. I think a single day will be a little bit more, but you're going to have multiple ways of getting there besides the parking. Again, if you're in a nearby hotel around the Disneyland hotel area, then it's going to be to your advantage just to walk over there. So we click off of that, and we're going to start looking at the maps. And you can see the maps. Basically, this is going to be, the first one is a lower level, and this is where it's going to have all the race bib, the pickup. So this is where you pick up your race bibs. There's athletes with disabilities here. Oh, that's a Club Run Disney Platinum is here. So Sleeping Beauty Pavilion is here, Runner Relations. And now we go to the other one. This is where the expo and the merchandise is. You realize that the merchandise is towards the back. The entrance is towards the bottom left-hand side. We're going to have race shirt pickup there, pre-purchase. Of course, to the right is going to be the exhibitors and the sponsors. It kind of doesn't look that big, but when you get there, it's a lot bigger than it looks. They actually even have a stage there. I think it's where the showcase is. But again, behind that, it's going to be where the merchandise is. They kind of have it blocked off. It's actually pretty cool, pretty simple to look at. So once we click out of there, we go back up to the top to weekend events. Next up is yoga. This is something that they started having. So at the top of it, you can actually see the time schedule for yoga. Basically, you got to check in. It's going to be at the ticket booth number 5, I believe. Ticket booth number 5 for yoga. And you start checking in at 3. You can start parking at 3:45 check-in. And yoga starts at 5. Now, again, the warning of the weather. This is actually really cool. I like this because I think it's a lot better than the one that they use at Disney World. The Disney World reminders, a lot of stuff will be here. The main one here is going to be at 3:45, the ticket booth number 5. That's when you have to check in for yoga. You have to check in before 4:45 a.m. Yoga will start at 5. It gives you basically what they're going to give you is a mat. Mat. They're going to give you a towel, and they're going to give you some water. So that's it. Transportation and parking. Basically, it's going to be the same. It's a Daffy. It is the Mickey and Friends parking structure, and it is daily rates. So let's take a look. So this one has the page so we can look down and we can scroll down, and you can see the daily parking rates is $35 for cars and motorcycles. So we'll click back over here. But now you know, basically, I was telling you I believed it was, and now we actually saw it, that it is $35 to park there at the Mickey and Friends. But that's what it's going to be for the yoga, and it's basically the other runs. Here's, again, the food and beverage. It's going to be basically the same. Most of them are going to have, some of them are going to have breakfast, carts and so forth and so on. And we got the photo pass. So the photo pass, if you want to take pictures, this is where it is. Now, I've never done yoga, so it's going to be interesting to see how they do pictures, but I'm not doing yoga. So, okay, now we're going back to the top where the weekend events again, and we are going to go to the 5K. Now we're starting with the runs. Okay, so with the runs, and we're going in order. Again, we see the weather warning system. That's going to be something that we'll look at quickly again. I think it's worth looking at it real quick because I just think it's genius the way that they do this. I wish it would, say, when it comes to the red flag, they might start cutting stuff down. If it's black flag, then they actually start cutting the course. Race etiquette, again, you already know how I feel about that. We're going to have a video on race etiquette. I wish they would do a little bit more, but they do say to listen to instructions before, and that's when they talk a lot about it. Reminders, so it's going to be almost the same. You have to go to the expo to pick up your bib. You can't pick up the bib that morning. So if you have issues with that, make sure you contact Run Disney. Here goes interesting. So spectator viewing, it's going to be a little bit different than Disney World because there's going to be different places that you can look at. So spectator viewing for the Disneyland 5K will be located at the finish line only. The finish line is located at Pixar Pier in Disney California Adventure Park, and it goes to show you the location will be accessible from 5 a.m. to 6:15 a.m. via the gates between World Disney and Earl of Sandwich. So now we click over to transportation. Transportation is going to be, we've already talked about that. So the parking is going to be at Mickey and Friends, and it is a $35 charge as we looked at. You can use rideshare, you can walk. That's one of the places that doesn't say their local transportation. They have the ATN, which includes the art. And again, I'll have a video because I actually already downloaded the app, and I'm going to go over the app as soon as I get a video out there. So we click off of there. We're going to go to food and beverage. Again, we're just being redundant at this moment in time, but it is worth repeating that Splitsville is going to have a little shindig starting at 7 a.m. and you can pre-purchase that right now. The photo pass, again, this is worth repeating because at the bottom of each race, you'll notice that it has the numbers that you need to link it. Now, here is the 5K course. So this is a start. We notice that we're starting inside of Disneyland, and the reason I came down is because that's basically where the flow of runners is going to go out. I'm not sure if it's going to go towards the street or if it's going to go through downtown Disney, but we run all the way up to, it looks like, through Toontown. We don't run through the castle. That's going to be the only thing that I go like, man, I wish we could run through the castle. We run over there. We're going to hit Galaxy's Edge very little. We are going to run by, it looks like, Big Thunder Mountain, and then we're going to come back down to like where Adventureland, Frontierland, come around. We're going to exit a little after a mile on the backside of Disneyland. We're going to run the side. They actually have some streets back there, so you'll notice there's going to be some streets. We're going to run all the way there, so it's going to be about a mile, nothing. But apparently, I'm pretty sure they're going to have characters there. We enter basically where the new Guardians is, where the old Tower of Terror used to be. We'll run through that little street where they have, Monster Inc. is in the back. It's a really cool little run. We do not run through Cars Land, it doesn't look like. We might touch it a little bit, but we're gonna run right by it, but it doesn't look like we're gonna run through it. We do run through Pixar Pier, which is actually pretty cool, and you're gonna hear the caution runner, slippery ahead, because we do run through the pier. And then we finish, and you see where the finish line is. That's where spectators can go. So now we're going to head over to the 10K, and we're going to be looking at the 10K. We're going to skip the weather warnings because we've already seen that. And we're going to skip race etiquette reminders. Basically the same reminders as we've had before, guys, so take a look at it if you need to get any reminders. Spectator viewing is going to be a little bit different here. So the course, you're going to be available along Harbor Boulevard, along Catella Boulevard. Spectators can also cheer on their athletes in the Esplanade between the entrances of Disney California Adventure Park and Disneyland Park. So that's going to be something that's real cool. Guys, if you're going to do this, make sure that you plan ahead. Guys, it tells you here at the park, which we're going to get to in transportation in a little bit. But finish line viewing will be available within the Manchester cast member parking lot. And that's basically where the start and finish is. It's going to be accessible starting at 3:30 a.m. Now we go to transportation. So, guys, again, Toy Story parking lot, $35 a day. And rideshare, we've already got the local transportation out of the way. So we've talked about that. Food and beverage is going to be basically the same. This is where Earl of Sandwich is open, the 13th and the 14th, 7 a.m. I don't work for them, but I do like their breakfast. Now we click on Photo Pass and we get to see the 16 digits that we're going to be using again to get our pictures. This is an interesting one, an official live results. We're going to click on that blue line and it's going to take us to the Track Shack. This is where you're going to be able to track your runners. You can input this, your information, but it's going to be closer to the day of. So this is going to be one that you're going to be able to use. And here is an interesting one. Here are the road closures. Now I like the color-coded one here because red means that you cannot go there at all. It's going to be completely closed. The ones that have arrows, you're only going to be able to go the way that the arrows are pointing. And the ones that just have the dots saying it's going to be limited to local. So let's get back on the main page. And we're going to continue on with some of the maps. We're going over the maps. So let's go over the maps. And we got two places that we entered. So the event entry you're going to see at the top. Coming down and the bottom. So one of them is going to be basically, you can walk to either one. but you're going to be able to see that's where the starting and the finish area is. You're going to see the corrals towards the bottom. They're going to be in green, A, B, C, D, and E, it looks like. And I'm sorry, and F, it looks like. So we're going to have up to corral F. And here is the map. So we will start basically in that little parking area, and we are going to run down, and it looks like it's going to be down Catella. So once we hit Catella, we come up, it's going to be mile marker 1. Then we enter the parks. We're going to enter through California Adventure Park, and once we exit, instead of finishing up there, we're going to run up. We're going to cross through that right between Disney California Adventure and Disneyland, and we're going to run a little bit more. It looks like we actually run a little bit more into Tomorrowland, and we keep going. We finish off, basically it looks back where Toontown is, going towards the back over there. We exit there, we run around, it's going to be mile marker 5. Again, there's some streets there on the side, we'll run there, and then we'll finish mile marker 6, and then we finish right back where we started from. So now we've gone over the 10K, so now we're going to go to the post race, and we're going to take a look at this because, again, there's 2 entryways. I believe that's going to be the only way that you can exit also. It has been in the past, so guys, make sure that you look at this map. Once you get there, it's going to be self-explanatory, but you're going to have the staging area, the finish line, the spectators, you're going to have the care section, and again, the stage, the gear check, so you have this all in these maps. So now we're going to go back to the top, and we're going to click on the kids races. So we'll start off first with the times of the activities. So that's at the very top. So you're going to be able to see that it starts at 9 a.m. and it continues going throughout the day till 11:30 a.m. That's when the kid races conclude. But in between, there's going to be a 100 meter, a 200 meter, and a 300 meter dash, and a diaper dash. That's actually really cool if you ever want to take a look at it. Spectator viewing is going to be a little bit different because you're just right there, so it's going to be very simple. You just have to be in that area. So, and transportation, it's going to be basically the same. So where you can park, so forth and so on. We've gone over this before. So food and beverage is going to be the same. Photo pass. There is a link for the kids run, so that's an interesting one. So and again, we're going to go over the closures right here, the road closures. The road closures are going to be the exact same ones, or it looks like most of it is going to be the exact same ones as the 10K. So they might just keep them closed there, but you can see the times also, what time to what time they're closed. And so actually it's the same because you can see, like in front of Disney Way from is at 12 to 7:30. So there's going to be some closures in that area just to make sure the kids are safe. And then we're going to click on basically the kids race courses, which is going to be very, very simple. They're all going to be right there. So to the left, and that blue section is going to be the kids activity area, the kids entry, the parent reunion is to the right, medical, spectator, so forth and so on. These are really, really cool to watch. I've watched them before in the past. They're pretty interesting. But now we are going to click on the half marathon. So again, at the very top, it's going to tell you when you can start. So 3:30 is when the staging area starts. The 5:30 a.m. is the start line closes. So guys, you got to remember that you got to be there before 5:35, guys. If you're there any later, make sure you contact Run Disney because we can't tell you what to do. The reminders are basically the same. It's basically the same as it was before. Spectator viewing, this is the one that changes, because we do have a couple of extra things, because you are able to go into the streets of Anaheim and cheer on. It'll be along Harbor Boulevard, along Catella Boulevard, athletes through. And in between, again, the 10K, it's going to be the same thing at the 10K. So you can go in between there, in between both parks, and as long as the runners are still there, which is going to be early on, you can cheer them on. And then, of course, the streets of Anaheim. And guys, in Streets of Anaheim, we probably will see some cosplay, some local actors. That's going to be actually a lot of fun. I enjoy it Transportation is going to be basically the same. Toy Story parking lot actually win this one. So not Mickey and Friends. So make sure that you make that adjustment. And again, you're going to have to pay to get there. So food and beverage is going to be the same. Again, I keep saying that I'm going to go get breakfast at Earl of Sandwich. Some of the places in downtown Disney will be open. Photo Pass, again, here is the code. So you to get your pictures. So again, if you have the Genie Plus, or if you buy the Photo Pass, or you have that in your annual pass, you can get that. If not, just find a way to do it. Unofficial results, we've already gone over that. Again, you click on this link and it's a Track Shack, and you're going to be able to see, your results. And actually, they come in pretty real time once you cross those barriers. So just make sure that you have that. You have your information there. And right here is the road closures. Obviously, there's going to be a lot more for the half marathon. Again, the red means it's completely closed. So that means we're going to be running through that area. The white arrows on top of the red means that's going to be the way that you can drive. You can't go the other way. So guys, be prepared for that. And again, it looks like almost the same route for the ones with the dots. And I think that's where the art is going to be dropping us off. So that's that. Now we go to the actual, the maps, the half marathon, the pre-race, and so it's basically the same. There's going to be 2 areas that you can enter. Somebody had asked online, is there going to be security on both sides? I would bet that there is, because you have to. That's one of the rules. Anybody who's going into this area has to go through security, so that's going to happen. So, all right, so now let's get to the actual map. It's going to be very interesting because it's the same start and finish that it is a 10K, and basically some of the course of the 10K, especially inside the parks, is going to be very similar or basically the same, except when we exit, we usually will come right back down to the finish for the 10K. Instead, when we hit mile marker 5, we're going to go down Ball Boulevard, go down Anaheim Boulevard, and then you get to see that this is where we just kind of zigzag up and down. And so we're going to go up again through Ball Boulevard, come back down. We're going to run, and we do cross under some major highways. So we've done this before in the past. We'll do it again. It's not sometimes it's not the funnest route to run. There's not characters. There is mile markers out there. There's no characters, no entertainment, except for locals. And a lot of the locals are a lot of fun. If you notice, we passed by, it looks like the pond of Anaheim, which where the Mighty Ducks play, and it looks like Angel Stadium, where the California Angels play. And then, of course, we come back and we finish exactly where we finished the 10K. So it's a little bit different than a Disney World run. And again, they can't put characters out on the stops because they don't have access or they don't own those streets. And so they're just basically renting them out. And then, of course, the finish line, you're going to see the staging area here again. It's going to be exactly the same as a 10K. So then we're going to go back up to the top event weekends, because there's a few more things that we got to look at. Another thing is we're going to look at some of the sponsors. So one of them, let's see, Honda. So this was just a simple sponsor page. So we're going to go back, and because I did want to see the booths, and so let's see if we can find the booths. Actually, this one's interesting. Downtown Disney District. So if you look at this one, it's going to give you all of the discounts that you can get, all the perks that you can get. So California Soul, Curl Surf, Jamba, Jazz Kitchen, Coastal Grill and Patio, Naples, Restaurante Bar, Pandora. So all these places are going to, Splitsville, Sunglass Icon, Wetzel Pretzels. So all of these places are going to have some kind of discount, and some of them it gives you even the times, especially if they open up early, like Beignets Express. And I'm going to go again to Earl of Sandwich. Jamba is going to open up early. Starbucks, obviously. Tortilla Joe's is going to open up early. And it says hours listed are subject to change, but on the most part, you're going to have options to go get something to eat before and after. Pretty quickly right there. But again, we want to look at the booths. So let's look at these booths. So AT&T, Dasani, there's a bunch of them here. Enterprise. There's a place where you can get your medals framed, and that is called Fond Memories Graphics. You have Mission, you have Shocks. Jeff Galloway will be there again. We'll get to see him. The ones doing Coast to Coast are going to see him twice. So we also got the Flock Sportswear, Scar and Company magnets. We got a couple more, which is Sparkly Soul and Sparkle Athletic. But these are going to be basically your vendors. They might have an extra one here and there, but on the most part, those are going to be your vendors inside of the expo. So you guys can get yourself familiar with all of them. Just double checking. Of course, it's always good to go by and say hello to Jeff. So over here, we do have the extra runs. This is what I found funny, is it says here, the 2024 Walt Disney World Marathon, which we already did. So guys, that's a lot of information, guys. And what I suggest that you do, guys, if you're just doing the 5K, go to the 5K tabs, read everything, anything that you believe is going to affect you, even if it's indirectly or very little, guys, go over it. But I did come up with some ideas about stuff that really sticks out, and I'm going to give you those. I came up with, I believe it was 13, and so I'm going to give you those 13 right now. So number one is you're going to need the check-in pass to get your bib. So make sure that you have that check-in pass. Now, it's going to be January 9th. It's going to fall sometime on January 9th. And again, you can get the digital one, so you can take a picture, you can save it into your wallet, or you can print it out, whichever one you like. But remember this, you're going to need your photo ID. And again, to piggyback on, these questions get asked so many times, and again, the answer is going to be the same. You cannot pick up a bib for another adult. If the person is running and they're under the age of 18, and you are the legal parent or guardian, then yes, you can pick up their bib. But besides that, you cannot pick up the bib for another adult. I keep seeing that question asked over and over, and guys, it's in the guide. You don't even have to listen to me. It's in the guide over and over. So guys, make sure that you abide by those rules. So that's 2 out of the way, and then the third one is, remember this. No matter how many entrances there are going to be, you're going to have to go through security. So don't be trying to sneak something in and saying, well, I can go in this way, because they're not going to check over there. They're going to be checking security. So anywhere you go, there's going to be security. This actually has to do with spectators also. If they're going to be coming with you to the corral area, of course, they cannot go into the corrals themselves. But guys, you have to go through security. So those of you guys asking for transportation, here's a little bit of tidbit. The ART, which is a bus system that runs kind of like the shuttles at Disney World, they're going to be running at 3 a.m. They're going to be running for a few hours before the run, but again, they stop for a while. They didn't see anything about when they stop, but they are going to stop. If you look at the maps, more or less, you're going to see where they drop us off, so it's within walking distance. Going to give you a little bit of hint. You're not going to have to walk as far as you are at Walt Disney World when you get dropped off, but the ART does charge. Now, and I'm going to do a video with that because there is an app that you can download. I already did. I set up my account. It's real easy. The more days that you put on there, the cheaper it is. But I believe it goes from 1 day to 5 days, and it goes to 15 days. So the 5-day one, I think, is $25. But again, it's going to be running at 3 a.m., guys. It's going to be running at 3 a.m. And it's a bus stop, so it's not going to be like the Disney. It's going to be kind of like the Disney, the buses, but except you might go get out of your hotel, and it may be 3 or 4 of them that it's servicing. So you're going to might have to walk over to that bus stop, check in. And again, the only other thing that I'm going to tell you guys is that it might not be like at Disney World. There's one bus. Usually it is one bus after another. When it comes to shuttling us, it may not be that way. It may be one, and then we might have to wait a while to get another one, so forth and so on. So again, real quick, I'm going to just say this. Yes, you can walk, even if your hotel's a mile and a half away. You can walk over there. So guys, just look at all your options. So that way you're ready on race day. Okay, so you guys that are going to be parking, there's going to be different parking structures that are going to be open. And if you read closely, they are going to charge you basically what a day event is, or that's what it says on there, which when I looked, it was $35. The only difference that I see is that on the day of the expo, if you show them your check-in pass, you get it reduced to $10. But again, it looks like you're going to have to pay for parking if you drive over there, guys. So if you guys are going to be saying, hey, you know what, I'm a mile away, I don't want to take the ART, I'm going to drive, there's a chance they're going to charge you. So take a look at that, plan ahead. Again, art is going to be $5. Parking is going to be $35. Again, but as far as I read, they're going to charge you for parking for the event. All right, another one for the expo. For the expo, there's going to be a virtual queue, and we who have been doing it are used to it. So there is a place on the My Disney Experience app, or actually, it's for the Disneyland app, I should say. But it's basically the same thing. And if you go to the 3 arrows on the bottom, the 3 lines, I should say, not arrows, 3 lines on the bottom, you click on that, there's going to be a place for virtual queue. Again, at that morning, it's going to open up, so you're going to be able to pick that. It's up to 6 guests that you're going to get to get in. It's going to be a QR code for each guest. Here goes the difference, guys. At Disney World, it's at 8:30 a.m. At Disneyland, it's at 7 a.m. So at 7 a.m., you got to get your virtual queue. Gives you a little bit more time. So get up a little bit earlier. Make sure that you get your parties down. And again, it's just the same thing. There's only 6 are allowed. And so you can get up to 6 guests. And so again, if the party is bigger and you want them to go into the merchandise booth, it's going to be just for the merchandise, then go ahead and get a second person that's going to have their information so you can get those on there. So again, guys, things that we already know, the expo is going to be at the Disneyland Hotel, which I thought it was going to be. I thought maybe they might venture out a little bit, but they didn't. It's going to be there's going to be a lower level and an upper level. So the lower level is going to be more merchandise, the expo itself, the vendors and so forth. The upper level is going to be big, I think race shirt pickup, so it's going to be a little bit different. And so everything is going to be right there. We don't have to walk that far away to get everything. But guys, again, it's been about 7 years since I've been there, and it was actually pretty cool. I liked it there. I thought it was pretty cool because you just went in there, you were able to get everything there. And it can get crowded, guys. So just be careful. The first day it's going to be crowded, but remember, you're going to need a virtual queue. And it's for the merchandise and only for day 1. Another difference is the 5K is going to start inside of the park. You saw that. I think the overflow is going to be going into like the entrance ways and maybe going into downtown Disney or the other way. There's gonna have an overflow somewhere there. But the 5K starts differently than the 10K and the half, so just be aware of that. So another thing, and I saw somebody complain, and I didn't understand this, because the half marathon, most of it is in Anaheim. So once we get out, we're gonna run in downtown Anaheim or around Anaheim. And so is there gonna be characters? Is there gonna be entertainment, so forth, so on? Probably not anything Disney related. There hasn't been anything in the past. They do have the mile markers, so you'll be able to see those. But the cool part is that there usually is some cosplay and some local entertainers who actually go out there and they dress up like characters. And so it's really, really cool. I enjoyed it. I personally enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. They brought the energy, so it really helped us when we were out there and we were running there. But guys, remember this, that we're going to be running in Anaheim, and anything can and will happen. I've done dust storms there, so there's been dust storms before. So we're not going to run. It doesn't look like we're running into the pond, which is where the Anaheim Ducks play. And we're not running in Angel Stadium. It doesn't look like we're going to run there. It looks like we're going to run by them, but we're not going to actually go inside of them. And then another thing that sticks out is the kids' runs are going to be back. And so they're going to start up on Saturday morning. So Saturday morning after the 10K. So they're going to start up right in that area where we start. They're going to kind of dress it up really nicely for the kids. So it's if you haven't seen the kids run, it's really, really nice. I'm guessing that they're gonna come back. It's just a matter of time. At Disney World, they have so much more area over there. But again, kids run is gonna be Saturday morning. And guys, there is cutoff times to get into the corrals. It's not like the opening and closing that they do have for corrals like it is at Disney World. It's basically open, and then, like, for example, the corrals close for the 5K at 5:25. So at 5:25, the corrals are closed. You cannot go in there, and it is a hard one. Okay, right now it is that hard. It's a hard cap. So in other words, you cannot go in there. So guys, if you know that there's a chance you're going to run late, do what you can right now. Set up extra alarm clocks, whatever it is. Figure it out, but get there on time. Will they let you go get started if you get there a little bit later? That's not up to me, guys. That's not up to any of us, guys. So guys, make sure that you get there on time. Besides that, there's going to be some entertainment there, so it's fun to get there as usual early, so like it was at Disney World. And the last thing is spectators. Spectators, guys, there's going to be areas, there's going to be more areas that you can go, especially for the half marathon, because we are going to be running outside. But guys, already planned that you're not going to be able to go into the parks, or at least not for, if it is, it's going to be very, very short. I think the 5K, the finish is within the park. Then we're going to exit, and there's going to be spectators there. But guys, just remember that, you know, a lot of people have been asking for the Disney World one. Hey, can I go into, they assume they can go into Animal Kingdom and cheer. No, you're going to have a park ticket and so forth by that time. So guys, the same thing. So just make sure that if you want to cheer somebody on, again, it's probably going to be outside. The cool part about it is in some of the races we run across, like the 10K and the half, we run across where the two parks are, and there is going to be places for spectators there. That's a cool part about it. But also remember, I'm going to say this, that was one of the first things I said, say it again, they're going to have to go through security also. So guys, this is going to be the last one before Christmas, so how excited are you, especially the ones that are doing the coast to coast, the Dopey to Dumbo? How excited are you? Guys, I want to wish you from the bottom of my heart a Merry, Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. I'll probably do a video before New Year, I got a couple of them planned, but guys, now it's about you guys and your family. I just want to wish you from the bottom of my heart, the running ears, everybody who's contributed to this channel, thank you very much, and I'm going to wish you guys a Merry, Merry Christmas, a happy, healthy Merry Christmas. Create a magical day, create a magical run, create a magical Christmas, and guys, see you sooner than later.